This is Mary McNamara-Cullinane. I'm the Senior Vice President of Regulatory Affairs at Alira Health. The Emergency Use Authorization is a mechanism by which we can get medical devices and technology and pharmaceuticals on the market in an expedited fashion that address the COVID-19 pandemic. FDA is principally using two mechanisms by which we can achieve this. One is through this Emergency Use Authorization guidance, which is a template that FDA has provided to medical device and technology manufacturers. That template provides the requirements that are needed to get these products on the market. And the second is by releasing immediately in effect guidance documents for specific medical devices and technologies. Those guidance documents allow manufacturers to immediately commercialize their products as long as they fit into the requirements and the guidance that's described in that guidance document that FDA has published. A couple of things had to come into effect in order for FDA to take these steps to addressing the COVID-19 pandemic. One is that the Health and Human Services declared this COVID-19 a pandemic and a public health emergency on February 4th, 2020. The federal government did not declare this a public health emergency until March 13th, 2020. And FDA must determine that certain criteria are met for these emergency use authorizations to go through and be approved to address the COVID-19 pandemic. And as I mentioned, those several guidance documents that have been released for specific devices. Some of those devices include respirators, face masks, disinfectants, sterilants, remote patient monitoring systems, as well as infrared thermometers and infusion pumps, accessories, and sets. So there are several conditions that must be met for the emergency use authorization. One is that we must provide to FDA device description, intended use, testing to support safety and efficacy, as well as a fact sheet for the user and the healthcare provider. And in that fact sheet, again, provides information to the users of the product that the product has been authorized under the Emergency Use Authorization Act, what the significant benefits and risks are for use of the product, a description, and the intended use of that product. My best advice for companies that are seeking approval for a medical device or technology to address the COVID-19 pandemic would be to first reach out to FDA. There's a 24/7 hotline. If you have any questions, they have FDA staffing that to address any COVID-19 technology questions. Secondly, I would get on the FDA website. They have a dedicated website for COVID-19, and all of the information I just described is on there, and it's very easily found. So that includes all the information about the COVID-19 pandemic, the guidance documents I just referred to, the emergency use authorization template, as well as all of the approved medical devices and technologies that have been gone through this regulatory process with the FDA. Another thing to keep in mind is that all FDA employees that are working remotely, and they are prioritizing their time towards any devices and technologies and pharmaceuticals to address the pandemic. But all of the meetings, the panel meetings, the advisory committee meetings have been postponed. If you had a regularly scheduled meeting with the FDA for another type of submission, that has been converted to a telephone call instead of a face-to-face meeting. Any submissions that are being sent to FDA right now, we can expect some delays in their reviews. And if you have questions from FDA on pending submissions, FDA is allowing a 60-day extension to address those questions. And lastly, Alira Health can assist companies in preparing emergency use authorizations or any other questions that you might have. As I said, we are competent in understanding what FDA is looking for these emergency use authorizations and can assist in this process. So please reach out if you have any questions or believe that you do have technology that might address the COVID-19 pandemic.